Hello, good beans, and welcome back to Midnight Requiem. Today we'll be talking about Francis William Leahy, otherwise known as Frank Leahy, was an American football player, coach, college athletic administrator, and professional sports executive. He served as the head football coach at Boston College from 1939 to 1940 and at the University of Notre Dame from 1941 to 1943, and again from 1946 to 1953, compiling a career college football record of 107-13-9. His winning percentage of .864 is the second best in NCAA Division football history, trailing only that of fellow Notre Dame Fighting Irish coach Knute Rockne, from whom Leahy played from 1928 to 1930. Leahy was born in O'Neill, Nebraska, and graduated from Winter High School in Winter, South Dakota, where he was a football standout. He attended the University of Notre Dame, where he played football as a tackle on Knute Rockne's last three teams, and was part of the 1929 and 1930 national champion teams. Leahy graduated from the university in 1931. Leahy went to Georgetown University as a line coach in 1931 and Michigan State. The following year, to take a similar position, Leahy took over as a line coach at Fordham University in 1933 and stayed until 1938 under Jim Crowley, coaching the famed Seven Blocks of Granite from 1935 to 1937. When the Rams lost only 2 games in 3 seasons, the undersized right guard on the 1935 and 1936 teams was future coaching legend Vincent Lombardi. In 1939, Leahy went to Boston College as head coach, guiding the Eagles to a 20-2 record, including an undefeated 1940 season capped off with a win in the 1941 Sugar Bowl at Boston College. He tried relentlessly to recruit future beat Arthur Jack Kerouac. Although he had recently signed a contract renewal at Boston College, Leahy accepted the head coaching position at his alma mater, Notre Dame. He tried without success to get out of his BC contract. He pleaded with the school's vice president. When that did not work, he went to the mayor of Boston and the governor of Massachusetts. Then at a press conference, he told 50 reporters what the South Bend Tribune called the biggest lie of his life. Leahy stated, "Gentlemen, I've called you all here today to inform you that I recently received my release from my coaching contract." With the release went the good wishes and benediction of Boston College. Leahy stepped away and the buzzing group of reporters battled for phone lines. A phone call came in for Leahy and he took it. The vice president of Boston College was on the line. "Coach Leahy," he barked, "you may go wherever you want and whenever you want. Goodbye." Leahy's tenure as head coach at his alma mater began the next season. His impact was felt right away as the Irish posted an 8-0-1 marked in 1941. The following season, he caused an uproar when he abandoned Rockne's box formation and installed the T after a 7-2-2 season in 1942. Leahy led Notre Dame to a national championship in 1943. despite losing the season finale against Great Lakes Navy by a score of 19-14. He entered the Navy in 1944 and was discharged as a lieutenant. He returned to Notre Dame for the 1946 season, in which Notre Dame shared the national championship after playing rival Aerobalik's Army team to scoreless tie at Yankee Stadium in New York. National championships followed in 1947 and 1949 with only a 14-14 tie against USC in the season finale, marrying a perfect season in 1948 and another possible national title. It was regarded by many as the most successful run in Notre Dame history, and Leahy appeared to be well on his way of meeting his goal of 10 consecutive seasons without a loss. Then, with the most of the wartime talent gone from the scene, the Irish fell to 4-4-1 in 1950. Scholarships had been reduced from 33 to 18 per year in 1948 when other teams, tired of getting beaten year in and year out, began dropping Notre Dame from their schedules. Consequently, the talent level had dropped off drastically. Leahy is one of the only two coaches in college football history to have won multiple national championships at the same school during two different tenures, joining Tennessee's Robert Neyland. Scholarships were increased afterwards, and the situation improved, aided by freshman eligibility brought on by the Korean War. Notre Dame finished 7-1 in 1951 and 1952, while the 1953 squad, Leahy's last, posted a 9-0-1 docket. A controversial 14-14 tie against Iowa denied the Irish another consensus national championship, although 10 other selectors chose the Irish for the title. However, Notre Dame does not recognize this national championship. The controversy over the tie with Iowa stemmed from the fact that both of Notre Dame's touchdowns, one late in the first half and the other late in the game, came after a player had faked an injury. In both instances, Notre Dame had used up their atonement of times out, and under normal circumstances, time would have expired in each half before they could run another play. Faking an injury was widely used ploy in football as a means of buying time, but in most cases there was no impact on the outcome of a game. In Notre Dame's case, the Irish used this ruse not once, but twice in the same game, and both times they managed to score touchdowns. A new rule was implemented the following year forbidding players from faking injuries, and many saw this as a punishment directed at Notre Dame, who were branded as the fainting Irish. There was some concern about Leahy's health when he collapsed from a pancreatic attack in the locker room during halftime of the 1953 Georgia Tech game. A priest allegedly gave Leahy the last rites of the Catholic Church when it was feared he was dying. Leahy resigned on January 31st, 1954, with 2 years remaining on his contract. Supposedly, he had been ordered to give up coaching by his doctors for the sake of his health, but he later revealed that he left because he felt he was no longer wanted. Leahy was succeeded by Terry Brennan, ushering in a downward slide for Notre Dame's football fortunes for the next decade. While at Notre Dame, Leahy had 6 undefeated seasons, 4 national championship teams, and an unbeaten string of 39 games, 37-0-2 in the late 1940s. He also coached 4 Heisman Trophy winners, Andrew Bertheli, Johnny Lujack, Leon Hart, and Johnny Latner, and recruited a 5th 1956 winner, Paul Hernig. His overall record at Notre Dame was at 87-11-9. Like his former coach, Rockne, Leahy believed that games were won in practice, and he had a reputation of being a relentless taskmaster. It is said that Leahy's team never had to practice without hitting, and that his quarterbacks would catch snaps every practice until their hands bled. His teams were always well-conditioned, and Leahy was merciless when it came to the toughness of his players. In addition to his practices, Leahy coached a tough-nosed style of football during the games. Leahy's team rarely kicked field goals when they were on the goal line because Notre Dame didn't kick field goals. Notre Dame was too tough to kick field goals. This philosophy backfired against Army in 1946 when the Irish drove all the way to the cadets' 4-yard line and turned the ball over on downs. A field goal would have won the game. Leahy always referred to his players as his lads. In 1949, he wrote the book of the T formation, Notre Dame's football, the T formation. Leahy served as a general manager for the Los Angeles Chargers during the inaugural 1960 season in the American Football League. He was selected to the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame in 1970. Leahy moved to Portland, Oregon suburb of Lake Oswego in 1963, where he worked as an executive in a vending machine company until his death from congestive heart failure in Portland in 1973. Leahy was married to the former Florence Riley in 1935. She survived him in death. They had 8 children. Their son Jim and grandson Ryan played football at Notre Dame. For his contribution to sports in Los Angeles, he was honored with a Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum Court of Honor plaque by the Coliseum's commissioners. Leave a white heart in the comments in remembrance of them. And as always, be loving and caring, my good beings.